Low attendance today. Is everybody running behind? Is there traffic on the West Side Highway? Okay, it looks like there's like a big traffic jam on the West Side Highway, so we got a little delay. Or no, it's usually the Queens Tunnel, right? The Queens, what do they call that tunnel that goes between Queens? Is it called the Manhattan Queens Tunnel? Midtown Tunnel, yes, thank you. It's probably the Midtown Tunnel is backed up, so we're a little bit. We're going to start on time anyways because we're streaming. For those who don't know, we stream every day at. By the way, I'm using a new conditioner and like my hair is like it's all in my face. It's weird. I might have to put a hat on or something. But so if I suddenly put a hat on in the middle, that's what's going on. It's like fluffy. Anyways, I don't even know what we're doing now. We stream every Thursday at noon, and usually I try to have these conversations before we start streaming, but apparently now everybody online knows that I have a new conditioner, just in case you're curious. So today we're doing a workshop on single light portraits, or one light portraits, or portraits with one light, depending on what gets more hits. And this one's kind of fun. We're going to mess around a little bit. I think that your standard kind of portrait, like actually I just had somebody, right? Who now I forget her name already, I'm sorry. So I am talking about people that I meet. See, she literally just came in here and she said, hey, I'm gonna go make some portraits of people and what's the minimum amount of stuff that I need? Which of course I never answered her question because there's no real answer to that question, right? But I did mention that we're doing, so if you're watching, ma'am, sorry I forgot your name already. I don't wanna say the wrong name, like I think I remember it, but I'd hate to say the wrong name, but you know who you are. And the reality is you can shoot with one light and make excellent portraits, but what you sacrifice is the ability to create everything that you might want, right? If you have a vision of a portrait a certain way that has certain lighting qualities, you might not be able to do that if that portrait would require multiple lights. But you still can create really good stuff with one light, and that's what we're going to work on today, because a lot of times, let's say we're in a rush, we only have one light, maybe there's not a lot of space. There's a lot of reasons why you might only use one light. We're going to play around a little bit. I feel like we just did one light portraits. What did we do last week? Was it one modifier? Was that last week? No. Okay, I tried to figure that out. What did we do last week? Do you remember? Yeah. Were you here last week? Oh, it was a dialogue. That's why you weren't here. Oh, good. I was waiting for you. Welcome. Last week we did a dialogue, which has nothing to do with anything. So, anyways. In that lesson, though, 2 weeks ago, you weren't here.
The one modifier one?
Yeah, we basically took one modifier and shot a bunch of different things. Today we're going to use a bunch of different modifiers to kind of go through some of the basic stuff that we like to use. We have Marissa here as the model, the infamous Marissa.
Great.
I don't know. What do you guys want to start with? I like to keep it really loose. We've got a softbox, right? Always a classic. For those who don't know, this is a softbox, Professional softbox. This is a 2x3, and this will answer that other question that I get a lot. There's certain questions. See, fluffy. It's going to be a thing all day. If you can only buy one softbox, this is the one. People always say, what softbox should I get? 2x3, this is a standard softbox. Depending on what brand you get it from, they'll call it different things, but roughly 2 foot by 3 foot, because it's big enough for one person. It still stays relatively large, but if you back it up, you can still get a decent amount of coverage. Remember, the softness of your source is based on its size relative to what you're photographing. So 2 foot by 3 foot softbox is kind of standard, kind of good portrait softbox. I find that 3x4s are really nice, but sometimes you have trouble fitting them if you're in smaller spaces. So this is a good size to get. So we have softbox. We also have an umbrella,
Silver?
which is silver. It's a deep silver umbrella, so it should be fun. And then we also have a beauty dish. Because there's always a beauty dish here. It's right there. If anybody ever wants to use a beauty dish, it's always right there. It's just sitting there. This is a Profoto beauty dish. A beauty dish is basically a relatively hard source compared to the other ones because it's smaller, right? This one is fitted with a grid, which will allow us to control the fall off, which I think will be really nice when we want to make something maybe really dramatic. The way a beauty dish works is, all right. Wow, we're going all kinds of directions today. You know what? I ate before the session, so now I'm a little bit fired up. Beauty dish, right? People love these things. This is a silver one, by the way. A beauty dish is designed to be used like this, right? Not like this. If I see you doing this, if I come to your studio and you have your beauty dish this far away, I'm going to say something to you. The whole point of the beauty dish is to use it close. That's what this is for. This creates it so that you don't get a hot spot in the center. When you're this far away, it doesn't matter, right? Basically, it's designed to be used close, thus making it softer, relatively speaking. Yeah, don't back your beauty dish up. I always see that. I've seen like 1,000 videos where people are shooting like this far away. What's the point? You might as well just not use anything. So this is a beauty dish. Let's use that first since I'm ranting about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Listen, you can never do anything wrong. Well, you do it any way you want.
favorite light.
Much love to you. We do have a light. We're using a Profoto D2, which is a mono light, basically. I'm realizing now that cord's not as long as I thought it was, but we'll make it work.
It is not.
Yeah, this is not the official Profoto cord. I'm not sure how long their cord is. So we're going to take our single light. Now, this is where, when you start working with one light, you really need to start thinking about the position of your light. Because if you, the position of your light relative to your subject, relative to the background, that kind of equation is going to make a big difference. If I put my light really close to me, right, but equivalently far from the background, then no light is going to hit the background, which means the background is going to go dark, right? If I move my light further away so that that ratio starts to spread out a little bit, then you'll get more light on the background. So depending on how you want your background to look, assuming you're in a studio and you have just plain background, that's going to be important. The first thing we're going to do though, like we always do, is we're going to set ourselves up so that none of the light in this space is going to affect our shot, right? We only want, this is my tethering cable, we only want the light from our flashes, or flash in this case, to affect our shot. There may be times, especially when you're working with one light, where you want to use some of the light from the room, which maybe we'll play with a little bit as we move forward. Oh, thank you. Look at that. By the way, in life, you just have to ask for things, right? You just say things, thank you so much. There's a giant extension cord that was handed to me randomly. I don't even know that guy. Actually, if you're ever in like certain parts of town, we'll say, and people just start to hand you stuff, don't take it. Right? It's not a good advice to just take things from people that hand it to you, because I mean he might have wanted some money for it or something. I actually got a pretty good CD, although actually it wasn't that good, from a guy from that. You know, have you seen these guys with the CDs? Yeah. They come up to you and they go, "Hey, this is my new CD. I would love for you to hear it." And then they like, "I'm going to sign it for you. What's your name?" And they sign it and everything. And then once they give it to you, they go, "Oh, that's $10 or whatever they want to get for it." So of course, I didn't just move here yesterday. I said, "Well, then take it back then." Right? Yeah. But he's like, "I already signed it for you." And I'm like, "Well, then I'll keep it." And I had it. And then when I got home, having felt victory of taking the CD from this guy that was trying to just rip me off, it was pretty terrible. So it's like he used GarageBand to like make the beats and was like rhyming about some bad coffee or something. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but it wasn't very good. Yeah, it was terrible, terrible rap music. Oh yeah, sure. The tethering cable is from Tether Tools. It's a USB 3 cable because of the camera I'm using. It's orange, which is nice so you don't trip on it.
I'm gonna say we don't need this big orange one.
I think you think it's too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically,
We need the little like couple of feet that strip gives.
yeah, I like the orange ones. They do make them in black. Black is like a little bit more stylish, but orange will make it so you don't trip on it.
We still trip on it.
Yeah, we still trim on it. It's just a 15-foot one. You can get the extension to make it go longer. Remember, when you're tethering to, with most cameras, you don't want to go over 15 feet anyways because you're going to end up having signal issues dropping. So that's why I like this little table right here. I don't know if you guys ever noticed this. I used to mention it all the time, but now I don't because I'm so used to it. It's like a little tethering table, and I have it on a stand, and I can just move my computer closer if I need to for that reason. Anyways, so we're using a Nikon. See, normally at the beginning of each session, I say, I'm going to tell you all the equipment I'm using, and then this time I didn't do that, and then we got an equipment question right from the beginning. So I should do that. So I will try to say all the equipment I'm using. If I don't say what it is, please ask, I will tell you. We're using a Nikon today. It's a D5, I believe, a D5. We're using the 24 to 120 zoom lens. We're tethered into Capture One, which is my preferred tethering software. You can also connect via, with a Nikon Capture, I think they call it, or camera control, or there's Lightroom. People use that too for first-time tethering. I'm a fan of Capture One. So Although they didn't give me a free copy, I had to pay $100 for it. But yeah, I guess it's worth it. We'll find out if it's worth it, right? We just upgraded. So, questions so far about any of that? No? Cool. I should have worn my Adorama TV t-shirt. We should all match one day. We have Adorama TV t-shirts now. It's very exciting. Maybe not. I don't know. Should we give Marissa an Adorama TV t-shirt? We're going to take a survey online, and then if there's more yeses than no's before the end of the session, so do a good job.
Go vote.
Yeah, we got, oh, that's the old cool style. We have the new cool style. Oh, Chewy doesn't even have a new one, so actually Chewy doesn't have one either. All right, so Marissa, hey. Okay, so we've got Marissa. Yeah. Here she is. She's got velour. She actually has the whole velour tracksuit, but she decided not to wear it today.
I know.
Do old people still wear those, like in Florida?
TV tracksuit, actually.
That would be amazing. So again, beauty dish, right? Wrong, right? Beauty dish, close. She's probably a little closer to the background than we want her to be, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come a little closer.
Which is why I had it where I had it.
Yeah. Oh, you want to put her here, all the way up close?
Yeah, up close, like
Okay.
almost at the front leg.
All right, so there's lots of different ways to light people. I prefer, although we're going to do a lot of different things, I prefer to when I'm lighting female subjects, to light them from the center. I find that generally speaking, that's nicer. The main reason for that is because of where your shadows are going to go, right? Wherever there's no light, there's going to be a shadow. So if I put my light on one side of the person, then the shadow is going to be on the other side. If I put my light in the center, then my shadows will go down, thus narrowing the face, showing off the cheekbones, getting the little butterfly under the nose. You know, it usually works out well. But we'll also play around a little bit with other things. We can start there, though. And we're going to use the silver beauty dish. Silver is going to create a little bit of a smaller cone of light, right? It narrows the beam slightly. It also creates a little bit more specularity, so our highlights are going to be a little bit poppier. Yeah. Is the silver beauty dish harder than the white beauty dish? No, it's not. Why?
Because you're using a white beauty dish, wouldn't the dispersion of light be?
Because of the same size. Yes, size is what determines whether something is hard or soft. Two beauty dishes, silver and white, same size, are the same hardness / softness. This is more specular. That means my highlights are going to pop more. It is not softer. Well, or harder.
Wait, you said size?
Size determines softness and hardness. Size relative to your subject, right? Because those people who don't understand that the world is actually flat think that the sun is really big and far away. That's why it's so small. The world's not really flat. I don't think.
If you keep walking though, you just fall off.
That is true. You do fall off eventually if you keep walking. So choose making a good point.
So you know it's fun, because those people never report.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. That makes sense.
Apparently, some people do believe that the world is flat. Are any of those people here in this audience? Okay, so we're not going to go into that.
I think
I didn't understand that was a thing until recently.
mostly Colin.
No, there's like a real, it's like a cult.
Yeah, there's like a thing. I learned it from Marissa. I'm actually not sure it's true. She said it. Now I'm like passing it on. Like
There's a
like.
rap called Flatline. Okay, yeah, look it up.
Okay, look it up. Everybody's on that right now. Don't leave this channel. Look it up later. Okay, so light's going to come by. It's going to strike Marissa's face. Some of it's going to fall into the background. I'm guessing at this distance, the background's going to get pretty dark, if not black. But before we do any of that, the first thing we need to do is set ourselves up so that the camera is not picking up any of the available light. See how I skipped that whole step? Now I'm rolling back. We do that by setting our shutter speed at its highest speed that it can synchronize with our flash, which is 250th of a second. But what about high speed sync? Don't worry about that. We also set our ISO as low as it goes, 100 ISO. So those two numbers are always going to be the same. The lowest ISO, the highest shutter speed that you can sync with. The third number in the exposure triangle is your aperture. What aperture are we going to use? It depends on the space that you're in, right? Here, I mean, we have windows open, we got some light shining on us. Around f8 is usually good. I know that because I'm here every Thursday. But if you're in a space for the first time, there's a lot of ways to kind of figure it out. You could use a handheld light meter, obviously. Use the meter in your camera, right? You get that little meter that goes back and forth in your camera. Dial it until it has as dark as it goes. Usually it's like -3. Just keep going until it's -3. That'll give you a good baseline. Or if you don't have any of that for some reason, or you don't know how to work the meter in your camera, just set your camera, the aperture somewhere in the middle of the range, which is around f8, f11, and take a picture, right? If it's black, you can either just be happy with that or take one a little bit more open and keep doing that until you see something and then kind of figure it out from there. None of that takes very long. You can do that all before your subject gets on set. What we're looking for is a black frame, right? That's the key here. Questions so far about that? Cool. So we have a black frame. As I said, I'm in capture one. One final thing that I usually like to do is I'm going to come over here into my little exposure adjustment tool, and I'm just going to grab the exposure slider and just bring it over until I start to see her. There she is. So I'm starting to see her like around 3 stops-ish. That means that it would take about 3 stops more light to start to see any detail, which means if I have to recover shadows or something, I have that much room to move. So that's plenty of underexposure for me. That's usually pretty good. 2 to 3 stops is usually where I like it to be. I don't like it to, generally 1 stop is not enough, in my opinion, because you may want to bring your shadows up in post. So we want to try to avoid that. 1 stop, you might need to bring your shadows up. You're going to start picking up light on her face. The light coming through the window is on the cooler side of the color spectrum. The light coming through from the store is on the warmer side. The strobe is also cooler. You're going to have all kinds of weird color contrast if you start adjusting that, if you start integrating that, I should say, into the shot. So we're going to try to just eliminate all of that. 3 stops is good for us. So we'll take a picture. Dave turns the flash on. The D2 has TTL, right? Yeah. The D2 has a feature called TTL. TTL means through the lens. It's a metering system, right? It basically means that instead of having to take my handheld light meter and go like this, the little remote on top of the camera will do that for us. It's going to do a meter for us. If we don't like the exposure that comes out of it, we can adjust it, but it's going to give us at least a baseline. So we'll take a photo and see what happens. There it is. There's Marissa, right? She's lit by the beauty dish, right? We can see it is a silver beauty dish, so it's kind of a tight, we don't even have the grid on yet, right? Yeah, not even a grid on that thing. It's kind of a tight circle of light. So far, so it's not even like getting her whole face. We might have to actually lower the dish if you can do that without getting it in the shot, or raise her face. If we want to get her whole face to be even, although that's pretty cool. Just you're seeing like this basic, your hot spots here. And it's coming down to, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but if you want it to be more even, you'll just have to make an adjustment on the light. You can also back it up. It's the other way to do it. Backing the light up makes it harder, but it also makes it more even because the light is spreading out as it goes further away.
What size of a beauty dish is
That's a good question. What size is my beauty dish? I get that question a lot. This is the brown one. Actually, I don't know why that brown tape's on there. It's been on there for like years now. It means something.
Yeah.
Someday I'll need a piece of tape and I'll pull that off. Beauty dishes are generally around 21 to 22 inches. That's a standard kind of beauty dish size. You can get them smaller and larger, but that's generally, if somebody asks for a beauty dish, this is usually the size that you would be. You probably have that big mola. No? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the mola makes these really, like, I mean, they make smaller ones too, but they make I mean, it's nice, but I don't see the point in it. It's just a show off. At that point, you might as well just get something else. Like, how do you carry that around? It's like so big, it's like you have a case just for that. Yeah, it's, I mean, no offense, mola, it's cool. I find that for an individual photographer, it's hard to have such a big piece of equipment to carry around with you. That's more for like a studio. There we go. Oh, interesting.
It's pumping it up a stop.
Oh, you also bumped it up a stop.
Yeah.
Oh, so Dave made an adjustment. He told the TTL system to. You're still on TTL?
Yep.
Yep. Told the TTL system to give us a little bit more light. 1 stop in this case. We also backed the light up a bit, which gave us more even coverage. He's got it centered right on our eyeball, so it's kind of freaky. And yeah, so
Down lower.
yeah, you could go a little bit lower.
Yeah.
And we're getting this kind of, really like a punchy, clean light. This is often used for beauty photography. It can be really nice. could probably go a little lower. You probably actually may not even have your chin as high if you go lower, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And we might even use a reflector. I didn't say one light and no reflector, did I? No, so we can use a reflector. So I'll bring a reflector in because people like to see what a reflector does. This is a portable reflector. I think this one's from Photoflex. Yep, Photoflex. If you don't have one of these, not this exact one, but if you don't have one of these, you should probably pick it up. It's a super simple tool. Everybody should really have them. They fold down really small. They pop open. You've got various reflective surfaces. You've got silver. This one has silver on one side and soft silver on the other. And then you can also like change it to, well, if the zipper wasn't goofed up, there we go. You could change it to black for negative fill, or gold for, don't use that. And then the center of it is translucent, which can be used as a diffuser, which you could also play around with a little bit. You could also use it as white, I suppose, the translucent part.
You're gonna go silver.
Cool. We're gonna go silver. Yeah, soft silver or hard silver? All right, soft silver. So now, with a beauty dish, well, with anything, make sure that you're getting the light when you reflect. I know that seems like it makes a lot of sense, but I see people put reflectors in all the time that aren't actually reflecting any light. So make sure that you can, this has got a pretty good spread, so it's probably not gonna be an issue. But get it nice and tight. Make sure that light's actually hitting it. I think it should be. Maybe turn the modeling light on to make sure, yeah. Or pop it just to see. There we go, there's a modeling light. Yeah, it's definitely, yeah, I can see it. See it? That's me. Here we go. That helps. That should pop in a little bit, clean up the shadows. There we go, right? Nice and clean, simple, single light shot of Marissa.
That looks so. I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
No, I like it. You're like squinting in a good way, right? That's the squinting. How much? You mean how much does it cost? Are you asking that because there's a price tag on it? Oh, because I think there is a price tag on it. That's why. Yeah. It is $1,795 for you. Special price today only. Okay, so I saw the price tag on it. Yeah, this is not my light. They took my lights away. If you want to write pro photo, tell them to give me back my lights. Mark. No, they're sending them back. I had to send my lights in, and now they're going to send me new ones. So they say. Or I'll get them from somebody else. Okay, so let's do it without her squinting.
Yeah. I'm ready now.
Are you sure?
I'm
Yep.
ready.
Okay.
By the way, this is a good way to measure like how close you should be to somebody when you're making their portrait. The reflector should just fit.
Do you still want me looking up at the light, or do you want me to look straight forward?
I just made that up right now, but it sounds right? That always seems like a good distance. If you're ever curious, like if I was gonna make a portrait of you, I'd just go, okay, that's where I want to be. Perfect. Otherwise, you can't fit your reflector.
No, that's the safe space.
That's a safe space.
Personal bubble.
Yeah, personal bubble. I like that. Yeah, you get personal space. Okay, so I feel like I didn't reflect as much in that one because I was goofing around. So let me get a better reflection.
Yeah, you were.
I blame myself only.
I'll use the.
Yep.
So you can see. You let me know.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, your angle is as important as your positioning. There we go. There we go. Now, yeah, you do look dead. The reason why you look dead is because, I don't know why. Why do you look dead, Marissa?
I don't know.
Do you need something? Coffee or something?
No. I'm
Piece of candy?
just gonna wake up.
Okay. Can somebody get a piece of candy from Marissa? Okay. People are always critical of themselves, and it's important to just let them roll with it. No, you look great. No, yeah, you look terrible. Terrible.
Thanks.
All right, let's go one more time. Don't screw it up. We're wasting pixels.
Try. Yeah. Have like a maybe close your eyes and there you go. Do that and then open.
I got a little wiggly thing going on.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
I wasn't ready. My mouth was open.
You weren't ready.
That's okay.
Are there any other models in the audience? Are there any other models? Can we get?
You're better.
Okay, so that's the beauty dish. So we'll move on. Now, what we can do here is a couple things. Number one, if we were having an issue with, you won't really be able to see it because she has nice smooth. Oh, you have a little scar on your forehead, huh?
Yeah.
Tell us that story. No, not. Okay, if she was shiny, we could put diffusion on the light, right? Putting diffusion on the light will help bring down the specularity. Shininess is specularity. She's not shiny, so it's not going to do anything. But what we could do, though, just to kind of mix it up a little bit, is we could add a grid to this, right? The grid is going to help us narrow our spread of light, right? This is a honeycomb grid. Now I have that honeycomb song stuck in my head. You know what I'm talking about for the cereal? Do they still have that? I don't have a TV, so I don't know. I'm not going to sing it, but there is like a honeycomb song. You know, do they even make that cereal anymore?
I think they still do, right?
Still make honeycomb
I
cereal?
haven't had cereal in a long
Yeah,
time.
they still make honeycomb.
Okay, there we go. I knew that you would know that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 We should just buy a box.
Yeah, I actually really like honeycomb cereal. I'm pretty sure it's not honey though. I guess to be honest with you. All right, so the grid is going to eat up some of our light. If we are still in TTL, are we still in TTL?
Yeah.
It won't matter. It'll just automatically compensate for it. But it's also narrowing our beam. So let's just see what it does without. At this point, too, it becomes a little trickier to use the reflector because obviously I got to make sure. I might not be able to even get it in there, but I'll try.
Oh,
I have to go like there to get it.
okay.
Is that in the shot?
No, you're good. Well, you're kind of, but it's
Okay.
fine.
The temptation is to like go whoop and hit you in the chin with. Yeah, I did it. Okay, good. Yeah, the grid tightens it up, adds a little bit of contrast, right? See the difference? And she made a better face. Apparently, she likes the grid better. Models can sense if you have more expensive gear. The more expensive the gear, the better the face they give. The grid adds at least a couple $100 to the price of that. Okay. Questions about, yes? Go ahead. Gentleman in the back first. You were too slow. Oh, you want to see a comparison? Okay. What if it's not different though? It'll be embarrassing. Okay.
Even
Yeah.
with the grid?
Yeah, it's punchier. You have a little more contrast. Yes.
We're using white background. How does it trim black? You could think that it, we use black.
Mm-hmm. So you're asking if you used a white, if we used a white background? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the background is gray, right? Yeah. Well.
Is it because the model is pretty far away from the background? She's too close to the camera. Would it still turn gray?
Okay, good. So that's a good question. So basically, why is the background so dark? The background's dark because exactly what you said. The light relative to Marissa versus the light relative to the background. And in fact, if she was closer to the background, in fact, we didn't have to move the light. If we just put Marissa closer to the background. Yeah. All the way. Go right to the background. We'll be like one of those like modern fashion photographers and put like a big shadow in the background. They love that stuff. I'm very modern.
This is weird with both hands in your hips.
By the way,
See my hands now?
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, we have a longer lens, I think.
Yeah, I can go longer.
Yeah, we got 120 today. We went all out for this. Now, this beauty dish is way too far away, obviously, to get the real effect of the beauty dish. But now, she's closer to the background. See, that does have that. If you like that, you like that look. You're a modern fashion photographer. See, boom, this is how you do it. Beauty dish far away,
I just don't want to waste my money on different colors. Seamless.
and then not use it.
I mean, you can make it black, make it red.
I could make it red, but not today. This is an interesting point, right? And it's one of those basic tools in photography that you kind of lose a little bit with only one light. So this is actually going in the opposite direction. People who tune into this and think, well, Daniel's going to talk about all day about how using one light is the best thing in the world. I'm going to show you can make some cool shots with one light, but there's definitely disadvantages. We can't light the background really. Oh, that's much better. Look at that.
I took that up.
Yeah, Dave changed it a little bit. That's actually not terrible. Actually, I'm being sold on it. Maybe I like this style now. Okay, so with the right model, yes. What would you look like? Come be the model and I'll answer your question. We need a guy. Who wants to be a guy?
Oh, you do it. Do it.
Can we see it without the
I will if you come and be the model. Come be the model. Oh, he's got crutches.
Without the grid?
We have shy people. With that hair, you can't not come up here. It's great. Come forward. All right, good.
With and without the grid?
Well, no, first we want to see what the light looks like on this gentleman. Just to mix it up a little bit. This is right here about to be like Urban Outfitters ad. Yeah.
I see it, but it's sure.
Like that sweatshirt was like $200. You know it was. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's happy about it. Nice. That's amazing.
Oh, dude, that I'm huge. The lighting looks better for him.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to be here.
It's nice. It's very Don Henley from this like Hotel California.
This is Bob
Oh.
Ross, like angry Bob Ross.
Is there such a thing as angry Bob Ross? Come on. That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Now I lost track of the question. I'm sorry. I got excited by his hair. Yes. Oh, the color. Yes. What was your question? Oh, you just want to see both pictures. That wasn't even a question. It was just a ask. Which one did you want to see, with and without the tilt?
Or with and without the grid, the same.
Oh, you took the grid off as well?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
But-
we'll do
but
that now. Yeah.
That would look very much the same.
So now let's change the grid. Now let's take the grid off and see what it does. You'll probably have a little bit of a drop in contrast, possibly. Maybe a little more specularity in the highlights. Good. Yeah, we'll do one with and one without her moving. But to answer your question about colors, yeah, this is one of the things. Like if we had a gray background, which we do, Adorama only buys me one roll of paper a year. And actually, we're still on last year's roll, so we're ahead of the game. So we often have to make this background different colors, which you can do by adding gels to it and stuff. But if you're only working with one light, can't really do that now, can we? Because we can put a gel on the light, then the person's going to be that color as well, which could be cool. Nice. Okay, that's the last one?
With and without the grid. It's still tilted down a little bit, I think. But
That's okay. So with and without. So the grid has kind of, this is without, the last one, right? It's a little bit punchier. We have brighter highlights, right? Because it's more specular. The light is still the same hardness softness because it didn't get any bigger or smaller, but you're definitely getting a bit of
the fall off here.
a fall off around the corners with the grid, which kind of has a different look to it, right? It's a little less even because a grid brings the light in.
Yeah.
Kind of cool, right? So what we've learned here is no matter how like you totally, we're doing exactly what I said not to do, right? Beauty dish too far away. But you know what? That's fine.
We can show them.
As long as it looks cool. What do you want to do, the
better
Magnum?
Example, side lit.
Yeah, let's do a side lit shot now.
Just to show them with the grid. Unless,
No, go ahead. What do you want to do? Side light or with the grid? With and without?
yeah.
Cool. Come forward again. Questions so far? I scared him, I think. Sorry. He's out of here. He's like, peace.
I don't know.
Yeah. You can't show up and then expect me not to put you in the picture. That's how I get all my models. Marissa was just somebody walking through the store one day. That's kind of true, actually. And that's how we found her.
Not really.
No, you sought me out.
Yeah, that's true.
She sought me out. Yeah. I guess
You were the first person I ever modeled for.
I was the very first person to ever photograph Marissa. Well, model.
You
that's
discovered
what-
me.
I discovered Marissa. So when she becomes really famous, I feel like we also somewhat discovered Sharina, who is now super famous. She's in like SUV or something. Is it SUV or is SVU? SVU.
Yeah.
I want to hang out with Ice-T. Right? He seems like he'd be like the coolest guy. All right, so there we go.
All right.
Now you see like the celebrities I'd like to hang out with, Ice-T. Questions? Yes,
So the ambient light, the light coming.
it's gone.
But the light coming out of the window, is okay? We don't have to block it out. Black.
Do we?
I thought we.
None of the ambient light in this room, this window, is affecting our shot. Because we set ourselves up at the 250th of a second, 100 ISO, f8, so all the ambient light is gone. That ambient light that you see with your eyes does not exist in our photo. That is one of the powers or the advantage of using flash. Flash is very, very powerful. We're overpowering all of that light. We could let it bleed in if we wanted to, which we could try in a minute. Dave's got something going right now. He's doing a little more of a side light feel. And again, the light's spreading out a bit. We're getting a little bit of like a darkish gray on one side down to a little bit of a darker on the other side. Right, we get a little bit of a, because the light's coming from the side. And then we'll use it with the grid.
In terms of power, is it 1200 or 2400?
The power,
Power.
I think it's a 500, isn't it? Or maybe 1,000.
It's 1,000.
This is the 1,000 watt second unit, and it's set around, I don't know, it's at 4.6, so that's like, it's set probably around 100 or so watt seconds, I'm guessing, roughly. That was my quick math in my head, which probably isn't right. Because the way the Profoto lights work is they're not 4.6, which is where it's at, is not half power, even though the maximum is 9. Well, I think the maximum might be 10 on this one. It's 1 stop per dot. So, yeah, so 9 would be 500, 8 would be 250, 7 would be 125, 6 would be 62 and a half.
How much brighter is that than like an off-camera flash?
Oh, a lot brighter. How much more powerful is it? Those are roughly 75 watt seconds at full power. Roughly 50 to 75, depending on your. Now, that being said, you can like zoom those heads. You can definitely get stuff going on, and you can eliminate the light in the space with that. We've done it before.
Here's without the grid, with grid.
Advantage of like a right. So that's with and without the grid, right? So we can see how we got a little control. Where the grid really comes in useful or handy is that if you have a certain position you want to put your light, and I mean besides adding a little contrast. And that light is then going places you don't want it to go, the grid will help contain it, right? That's really what it's for. In the first shot, it probably didn't matter that much because the light really wasn't going to hit the background that much anyways. But here we can see, especially with this distance, that we're getting gray background versus black, and that's based on the grid. So 5 is 30, 32. So we're like around 35 watt seconds. So yeah, we're like half the power of a speed light right now is where we're set, roughly. Although there's also this whole thing about efficiency. So, you know, Profoto lights are very, very efficient. So your 1,000 watt second Profoto is way brighter than, let's say, a 2,000 watt second, like, what brand can I bash without getting in trouble?
We can also
Norman. Yeah, and also it shoots really fast. Dave likes to do that. But no, so efficiency is also a factor. So don't just take watt seconds when you're figuring out power, but a speed light can do this. You just won't be able to put it in a big modifier. Okay, questions, thoughts, concerns? Does anybody can see now because Dave just blinded everybody with the. So let's see what the difference is between using this and let's say a softbox, which is probably the other most popular. Let's mix it up a little bit. Do a little softbox action, right? I would say the softbox is probably one of the most popular modifiers, right? People like softboxes. They're pretty versatile. I mean, the point of a softbox is to give you some control over the edges of your light, right? You're giving yourself some directionality with it. You can add accessories like grids to a softbox. We didn't have one, so we're not going to do that today. But basically, the softbox itself is an accessory that can go onto just about any light, right? You get the adapter, in this case, a Profoto speed ring, allows us to attach it to our Profoto light. If you had your off-camera flash, like a SB 900, or, okay, that sounds right. You could get an speed ring adapter that would put it into that. I mean, you just put whatever flash you want inside of it. Some of them are heat resistant, so you can put a hot light, like the one that nobody online can probably see it, but there's one right here that you can put a hot light into. It's lighting us up. I think that's a silver dome. Yep, it's a half silver dome. So in order to control the spread of the light on the softbox, sometimes it's important to not point it directly at your subject. I find that that's one of those things that is a little bit different, that you might not like. Whenever you see lighting diagrams, they always like point the light right at the person. But I find using the edge of the light or the feather, right? Because remember, light comes out like this. It's not going to go like that, right? It's coming out like this. So the light's coming out here, and it's still going to hit her, you know, here. And actually, because this part of the light is in front of her, it's actually going to kind of wrap around and be nice, right? If we just pointed, bless you, if we just point the light right at her, then we would get much more pronounced shadows, which you might want. Again, it kind of depends on what you want. But for the point of using a reflector, it's much easier this way, because now I have all this light that I can bounce back in if I want to, right? It makes my life a lot easier. It does tend to use a little bit more power, but we got power. Very fluffy. It's like in my eye. Nice. All right, softbox, right? Kind of classic softbox look versus, let's say, our beauty dish, which is a little bit more punchy, right? We got the softbox, kind of wraps around very gently. If you notice, you know, our shadow edges are a little bit crisper here than they will be on the softbox, which is going to basically be a lot more gentle here, like our transition, right? Because really, you've got all these different levels. Here you've got neutral, dark, and here you've got neutral, This is the favorite part where I get to blow it up really, really close. You got your neutral, and then you kind of gradually, this whole side of her, right? This whole side of her is in shadow. Like this is shadow. It's a very faint shadow, but it's a shadow. So it takes all of this to bring down into our darkness. And that's the bigger light source wrapping around the softbox, right? And of course, like I said, you can still use a reflector. Take our reflector, we bring it in like this. Oh, sorry. Right, that should bounce some light back in. Yeah. That's what she looks like when she's smoking a doobie.
Like there may have been a little bit of a blink.
Yeah.
Yeah, look up a bit.
Right, so we're bouncing light back in. So now, you may have noticed how I held the reflector, right, differently, right? Why did I hold the reflector like that? Because my light is here, and I want to fill that side of her face, so I hold it like that, right? If I went like that, right, that's not gonna do anything. So don't do that either. I see people do that all the time. You only do that like we just did before because the light was coming from above. So, reflector, sideways, easy, right? Questions about that? Softbox is easy, right? Everybody uses softboxes? Yeah. What else can we do with a softbox? Let's do like a backlight thing. Let's do something funky. So stand here and face me. Face me. All right, come this way with your body. Good. And then we'll use this as like a hair light. It's gonna wrap around her, and then I'm gonna bounce light back onto her face. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna raise it. And why am I gonna raise it? I don't know, why wouldn't you raise it, I guess, at this point? I'm gonna raise it so I can get light to go past her, so I can get more bounce going in. I'm gonna actually tilt it a little bit too, but we'll start here. So what I'm gonna do is, right, light moves at right angles, right? Is that right, Krisank? Master of all things paper and darkroom. So if I want my light to come in on her face, I'm gonna bring it up here, and I'm gonna go like this, right? My light's gonna come, it's gonna bounce off my reflector and give me the direction I want. Now, this is probably gonna raise havoc on the TTL, but we'll see. What? We'll probably. Me or her? Okay. All right, so at this point, oh, that wasn't too bad. Did you do that in TTL?
Yeah.
Oh, they did a pretty good job with the TTL. So we're actually creating, maybe she should raise her chin up a little bit. Actually, maybe she should like cheat towards you a little bit. We're creating two light sources in a sense, right? We're utilizing the softbox to light the back of her head, right, to give us like a hair or separation light, and then we're lighting the front of her with the reflector. Let's try that again.
Yeah, turn a little bit toward me.
Me?
I always think he's talking to me when he says that.
Yeah, a little more.
Don't screw it up.
Yeah, a little more toward me. There we go.
Don't screw it up. Nobody's watching.
And then look up a little bit.
Is your mom watching?
I don't know. I don't know how to tell people like what it is. I should like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well.
This is like your
whenever
thing.
I try and send them the live stream, I like it's gone.
Oh,
It's vanished.
that doesn't happen anymore. The live stream will stay.
Yeah.
It was probably better before. Okay, I think the reason why she has to step this way so more light goes past her. There we go. This way.
Also, one thing we could potentially do is open up the top of it because like.
Ah, we could do that. Oh, this is an advanced technique that Dave's going to share with you because Dave's nice like that. I wasn't going to share this technique because I'm not as nice as Dave. But again, what we can do here, right? We want to use our don't always think that because the instructions say when you buy something that that's how it should be used, that you're going to do it that way, right? If we just use a little science here, we can open this up, right? Now that means that more light, we do like half? Oh, okay. Right? More light is going to come out of the top. More light's going to give us a little bit more light to bounce back, right?
Cool.
Yeah, not bad, right? That's why we keep Dave around, really, for that kind of stuff. Right? So more light's going to creep out of here. That light we will then use to.
In such a way that it's.
Oh, interesting. He's going flatter. I like it.
Yeah, and hopefully more of it will.
Yeah, we'll try it. All right. I'm going to kind of maybe give us a modeling light because I might need to back up a bit. Oh, no, that's the light from over there.
I see what it's doing.
I think you got to tip it forward. I don't think I can get enough light on, unless she brings her chin up.
Like it also. Yeah.
No real picture.
Yeah, no.
I see.
Yeah, yep, perfect. And then, there you go.
Still lift chin up.
No, I'm not talking to you.
Oh, Laura, you said lift your chin up. I was like,
No, I'm just kidding. No, yes,
And then your
yes, shut up.
elbow is in the shot.
My elbow's in the shot, chin up. Now I'm talking to you,
Yeah, that's better.
Marissa. Up. Good. You have to do a little burst like that. That's the important one. There we go. All right, right. So now we've given ourselves a little bit more light coming through, creating. Right? Make sense? You know what I kind of want to do? I kind of want to bend this. I'm going to see what will happen if we bend this. There we go.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna actually.
This is actually one of those exercises. This is like the, what was that thing that Suzanne Summers did? With the Thigh Master.
You're in the shot.
Oh, okay.
A little more.
It's basically like the Thigh Master.
You gotta pull it up and out, I think.
I'm getting exercise here.
There, you almost had it. Okay. Move it around a bit. I see it.
Yeah, I see it too. This is actually harder than you would think.
It's
I'm-
the shot,
I'm-
take a shot.
Yeah, take a shot because I'm building up my glutes, I think. No, isn't your glute your butt?
no, you took it right as. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, actually, kind of what I thought I was going to do, which it made the underside. I'm trying to make our cheeks more pronounced by dropping off the shadow. I suppose a smaller reflector would have also done it.
You know what we have?
What? Glutes? Oh, the mirror.
Yeah.
Your glutes is your butt, right?
That's a pretty classic
Yeah.
picture, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, before we do that, oh, you can do that then. All right, fine. I was getting excited for a second. We could also use the beauty dish,
Oh, right.
right? We could use the beauty dish as a reflector, right? Let's see if that works. Because the beauty dish is silver. Oh, that feels pretty good. And then we'll step up to the mirror. We don't want to give them too much all at once.
Okay.
Oh.
I know, I'm like looking out a window, like, wow.
Should probably stand where I can actually see it. There we go. There we go. So now we've used the beauty dish, which obviously is not producing as much coverage. Yeah, let's use the mirror. It's better. All right, so we bought a mirror because, you know,
This would be.
Dave was like, let's buy a mirror. And I was like, oh, all right, cool.
A parabolic.
A parabolic mirror. So this is a parabolic mirror,
Hey, also known as a makeup mirror.
also known as a makeup mirror. And basically, you could also use this like to serve candies on.
Oh.
We should put that out and put like candies on it after.
So you
Like
can
like
press my candy.
mints. I feel like I'm gonna drop it. Is it plastic? Okay. So this is actually a parabolic mirror. So, okay, we're gonna have to kill the light so I can see it though. Sorry, online, you're gonna be dark for a second. That's it, right?
And then getting closer and further away will.
Yeah. Oh wow. Actually, if I do this, am I in the shot?
Yeah.
Bring your chin up.
No, you're not. No, it's
If you start to like burn like you're on fire, let me know.
Okay.
'Cause it could. You know how like the people kill insects.
You
with-
make him get-
All right, that's kind of cool. Let me back up a little bit.
Yep.
Do you want me to open my eyes really wide, like
Yeah.
I did before? Okay.
Sorry. It's gonna lose a little bit of light here.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna have to adjust for these. Oh, interesting. Oh, this is actually kind of cool.
Right. It's kind of like
It's like what we did the other day.
focus.
Oh, shh.
Oh.
She's giving it away. It's top secret.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
What's that?
From my side, from my name. And then up. See him like trying to get more. Yeah, there you go. You go up. Not you. Stay there.
Where do you want it on her eyes?
Yeah. Down right there. I want that big part.
Yeah.
Right on the eye.
Oh, that part right there.
Yeah, there you go. Feel my touch.
I'm shaking because of the workout from before.
Oh, that's
It is kind of cool. Who wants to do the mirror? Come do it. I swear this is just a random person.
We can also use
Just
it
like earlier.
back way.
She's a shill. Don't screw it up. Nobody's watching. I'm just taking a break. Questions? Thoughts? Yes.
Can you shoot these with a constant light instead of using it as a flash?
And then try to
So the question is, can we use just the modeling light? Is what you're saying? Sure, you could do that. It's not tremendously bright, but you certainly could do it if you needed to for whatever reason.
Horses. I photograph horses.
For horses.
Portraits of horses. If I'm going to do them in the stalls, horses freak if you use a flash.
Well, really, that has not been my experience. Yeah, I actually. Oh, wow! Hold on. You switched the other way. All right, that's why I was like, whoa, that was like the best mirror work I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I mean, I think that you probably want something brighter than this if you're shooting a horse. To be honest with you, are you keeping that mirror?
Yes.
That's pretty. Yeah. So this is softbox, little kind of hair lighty action going on there, I guess, right here. Let's try to do that, but from where the camera can see it. No. Do what you just did.
Oh, it's like a fill kind of thing?
Well, just so that we get the hairline in the right spot, because it was kind of
It's kind of,
patchy.
yeah. I mean, you have to,
Back it up, but then we won't have enough light. Let's just try that. Okay. Yeah, kind of brings it up a smidge. Cool. Well, that was fun. So mirrors are cool, right? Anything that you can use that's reflective, whether it be white or silver, is going to give you some kind of an effect. And it's always nice to just play around, especially if you're trying to deal with just having one light, right? Use everything you can around you, right? You could use the windows if you wanted to, because that was the thing, right? What about the window? Who said that? That was you, right? What about the light coming through the windows? Let's use it.
okay.
So maybe go closer, go over here with his light.
Here?
Yeah. So let's say that you're like maybe right here. I don't know. Let's say yeah. So with the gray background. That way Savage will give you my money. Not really.
What's the difference between a white and a silver reflector?
Okay. So what's the difference between a white and a silver reflector? The silver reflector is going to give you more reflection, right? It's going to give you more kickback because it's just like the mirror gave us even more bounce. However, it tends to also give you a bit of a smaller throw, and it tends to look a little more obvious. So depending on the look you're going for, like when you're shooting like a beauty shot earlier with the beauty dish, we didn't care that it was like pumped in with a silver reflector. If you're trying to shoot a casual portrait of somebody outside under a tree, you might want to use white so it feels a little bit more natural. It doesn't, not so much. Yeah.
Where do we want this?
So we're going to let's use the available light first, and then we'll use the flash to fill in. So we'll mix them together. So we'll just start with the light that's in here, and then we'll make it better.
Cool.
That's our plan anyways.
So maybe turning off these.
Yeah, let's turn off the tungsten lights if you could, too. We're heavily backlit today. Am I like a silhouette online so I can like do silhouette things like a? No, not really. No, I can see myself, so I know what I look like. My hair is like really.
So smooth. It does have a different shine though.
Yeah, it's got like a different. It's like puffy though. I think I'm gonna. Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Actually, I can't do the hair. Yeah, I can't either. You can't do it at all. Your hair's gone. The like the hair whip. All right, so we just have available light, right? In order to get a shot with the available light, yes.
Is it daylight balanced or is it
Yes. So is the strobe daylight balance? Yes, it is for the most part. Usually flash is a little bit on the cooler side, but we're also bouncing off a wall coming in here, so it should be pretty close. It should match well enough. Let's light coming through the window. Again, it's a little overexposed. We created our own light, right? So, and again, at this point, we could move her anywhere closer or further from the background, and it's going to stay gray, right? Because the background's being lit by the window, not by us. So we have this, and we could mix light. We could mix in the light. Go ahead and maybe bring it down a little bit. Let's play with it a little bit. Let's like underexpose by like 2 stops, right? We're going to make it darker, right? We're going to underexpose the window now. We're not going to get rid of it altogether. We're just going to make it darker. 2 stops might be too much. We'll see. Yeah, we can get a little closer. Yeah.
When you bring
Uh-oh.
it by 2 stops, is it by shutter speed or f stop? Or does it not matter?
Oh, I don't know. How'd you do it?
No, that was.
Oh, and the flash went off
You did.
for some unknown reason.
Probably from the original as well.
Oh,
It would make sense.
I didn't see it go off the first time. All right. So I'm not sure. I think he's doing it with the shutter speed, I'm guessing. Okay, so let's say that maybe that's too much. Maybe go one more stop. Give it one more stop of light.
This is what I first.
That's your first exposure.
So then you want 2 stops under that or 1 stop under?
Let's go one stop under. We're just gonna make it a little bit dark, right? And then we're gonna fill in with the flash, just for a point of contrast. That's 2, I think.
Second one is 1.
All right, so that's 1 stop under the exposure the camera says to be at. That doesn't look like 1 stop under. But the camera is probably not giving us correct exposure because sometimes cameras don't give you the right exposure. It is 2 stops. Okay, good. That's 1 stop under exposure. Okay, so that's like a little bit dark, right? Let's say though that for whatever reason, and again, this is all just because we're trying to make this work to try to show how you work together. We like the way the background looks or whatever, but it's a little bit dark. We want to fill in with the flash, or maybe there's another reason why we want to use a flash. Maybe there's I don't know why you'd want to use a flash, but let's say that we want to. What we can do is, you can do it a couple of different ways. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to block some of the daylight from her using my softbox, if I can. So I'm basically gonna put the softbox in between her and the light, hopefully doing that without actually blocking the light from the background as well. And I did, good. So I was able to do it. So right, I'm looking at it with my eyeball, and I can see that the light from the window is still affecting the background, but now it's not on her anymore. We can even do a test shot without the flash to make sure. Now she should be even darker. Right? She should be darker, but the background should be roughly the same, right? Which is what happened. Now we can use our flash on her, right? Our flash, it is still going to hit the background a little bit, but the flash will light her up, and hopefully it'll keep the background roughly the same. A grid would help a lot, but we don't have a grid, so. Yeah. I might have to turn the light slightly, but we'll see. Let's just try it like this to start with. Let's just see what happens. We go, we don't work with a wire here. We just go for it. Yeah, it hit the background. All right, so it's also at this minimum power. So what we'll do is we'll go like this. Try that, Dave.
Yeah, pull it in closer.
Closer to her.
Or the background. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll move so I'm not blocking the light. And what we're doing here is we're really trying to do something that's not even good because I'm just trying to go show you how you'd work this out. But essentially what we're doing is we're trying to keep the background, there we go, the background lit by the window and her lit by now our flash, which is a much, much nicer light on her face, right? That's how you would combine the 2 light sources. You could also do it, I mean, shoot out towards the windows, I guess. You could do it that way too, right? We could actually go like this. Like let's say if Marissa was to be, oh, there was a sandbag on that. Let's say Marissa was standing right here and she had the windows behind her. Nope, right here. Yep, perfect. And you know, because we love the view that we have of Manhattan. By the way, a van never parks in front of Adorama until I'm doing these demos. Every single time there's a van, right? I swear, like, it's like they follow me.
Let me get this little camera in the front.
Cool.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
without.
let's do without and just get the windows where we want them. Again, like in the beginning when we want to eliminate all the light, we'll do the same thing. We're going to figure out our exposure without the flash first. Let's see what the windows look like. Let's make them look the way we want them to look. Right? It's all about balance at this point. And I'm mostly going to use the shutter speed to do it. You can use both, but I'm going to mostly use the shutter speed. The reason for using the shutter speed is that once we're established with our strobe exposure, we can just keep moving the shutter speed up and down, right? And it will only affect the ambient for the most part, and not the strobe. So just getting in the habit of doing it that way is just easier, even though in the beginning it doesn't really matter which one you use.
This it says it's on exposure.
Oh, okay, on exposure. Perfect. So that's what the camera says is the right exposure, which makes sense because the window's out there and it's confused because of all the backlighting. But so let's open up a bit. Let's make it a little brighter. Maybe just a smidge. Well, actually, let's leave it the way it is. Sorry. Let's just shoot the flash first.
Well, here, let me go to. I'll make it like this.
He's gonna mix it up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So it's a little bit brighter out there. That seems about more correct. And now let's turn the flash on. Right? Now we're trying to work with our outside windows. That we like the way that looks out there. That van is beautiful. And we're going to light it up. We're not going to light the van up, actually. We're just going to light up. Yes. We're using it as a negative, negative space.
You know, one day we should do one where you have two lights and you put out a light and you light the van. As
We should light the van. We will do that. When we do a multiple light setup next time, you'll remind me and we will light the van. Oh, it moved. Damn it.
Nice.
Really? That's okay. The cab's good.
Yeah.
So now she is lit by the flash. She's not lit by the windows, right? She's lit by the flash. She's now actually, if we want to make it feel like she's lit by the windows a little bit, we could actually move our light back further, right? Shoot it around like this a bit. Then take our reflector and bounce it back in, right? Assuming I'm not going to get it in the shot, we should be able to put. This might take a couple of tries to get it right, but this should be pretty good. It's not going to be exactly perfect, but again, it'll help simulate. Sometimes when you're working in a space and there's light there, you want to think about the light that's in the space so that it makes more sense to your viewer when they're looking at it. That's not terrible, right? So now the light's coming from the back, right? Feels like the light's coming from the windows a little bit. It's not, right? We're in total control of the light. If we were to turn off the flash, it would be basically almost silhouetted like we did before. But this feels like it might be coming from the window. So now we've created a scene in a location, right, that feels like something.
We could use it too, a full front fill and just underexpose a little bit.
You mean like here?
No, with the light.
Oh, yes, right.
Yeah.
Ah, that's too easy. We don't want to do the easy stuff. We're moving on to the more complex. So, questions. Does that make sense? No? Doesn't make any sense at all. Yes, okay, good. Right? Feels a little bit more like the windows are in the shot. They're not tremendously bright, so they're not distracting. I mean, besides the cars out there. You know, kind of feels right. Feels like she might be, at least we were inspired by the light from the windows, if that makes sense. So I often will try to do that, especially when using one light, because since we don't have all the control in the world, sometimes we want to use what's there a little bit. And that's kind of what we did here. We're using the windows, the beautiful windows. Apparently they're dirty.
They are dirty.
But you know, it's Manhattan.
Oh. I'm just curious.
Dave's playing around. He's doing stuff. Questions? I don't know what's going on here. Dave's doing something. Go ahead, do it. Make it happen. I'm just hanging out, yep.
If we want to go any higher than 250th of a second, we'd have to go to high-speed sync, I assume, to get a darker background.
Yes. So the question is, oh, nice. The question is, like, if we wanted to get the background darker, I guess could we go to 250, or would we need to go over 250? Would that become high-speed sync? Yes. If your light is capable of doing high-speed sync, you have that option. The other thing you do is close down your f-stop. You could go to a lower ISO. There's a lot of things we could do. Yeah. We do have high-speed sync capability, I believe, with this light, but we covered that in the advanced class. But yeah, there is such a thing as high-speed sync for people who don't know. Certain lights are capable of it. It just basically means, without getting too deeply into it, that you can shoot it faster than your basic sync speed, which in this case is 250 on this camera. You can go to 1,000th of a second if you wanted to. Yeah.
Sort of on the same line of questioning, you had said if you want to make your ambient light brighter or darker, you can go with shutter speed and not
Yep.
with aperture. Why is that? Why not make your aperture larger or smaller versus?
Well, the reason to not be messing with your aperture, first of all, the aperture in most cases in portraiture is going to be a creative tool that you're going to set based on what you want it to look like, number one. So I don't want to just change it arbitrarily because of the light. Number two, once you set up your flash, if you don't have something like a TTL system, if you start changing your aperture, you're going to have to keep going back to your flash and changing it constantly. All right? If you have a normal strobe with just manual settings, and I'm at 5.6 and I decide to go to f4, now I have to go to my strobe and turn it down. And sure, you should be able to just turn it down one stop, it should work, but it doesn't always work, then you have to make adjustments. So it's just faster just to do the shutter speed, which doesn't really affect it. That's why you would do that. Yep.
This might be an amateur question, but I just found out about why I'm having black bars
Yeah.
across my photos because of
Yeah.
high-speed sync. Do you run your flashes in manual or TTL?
Yeah, we're using TTL. I generally use TTL until it doesn't work, right? Because basically, remember, a meter is not smart. It doesn't know what you want. So when I say it doesn't work, doesn't mean that it's not capable of doing it. It means that it's not creating the image that I want it to create, right? If TTL is I set my TTL and I can't get the image where I want it to be, then I switch to manual. That will happen sometimes with heavily backlit stuff or just weird situations. We have lots of lights going on. You can have issues with TTL, so you switch to manual. But I always start at TTL because if it works, then it's a heck of a lot easier and you're already there.
The TTL, that thing on top is telling that strobe or light what to do, and basically it doesn't know where that light is, though, the distance of the model to the light. How does it understand that? Or is that
Magic.
like,
Okay, so how does it work? I mean, I'll go over it really quickly because I think we have to wrap, but no, it's okay. This is like the way that TTL works, generally, and this is super vague, is that there's something called pre-flash. The pre-flash is a flash that you don't really see, generally, because your shutter speed is so fast that you're not noticing it. You press the shutter button, the communicator on the camera talks to the flash sends off a pre-flash, it sends back information to the camera's meter does all kinds of calculations, talks to the thing again, then talks back to it really quickly and says, oh, set it at this, boom, and that's how it works. Yeah, it's pretty fast. If you do rear curtain sync, which means you fire the flash at the end and you're doing longer exposures, you often see the pre-flash because it happens at the beginning. The pre-flash always happens at the beginning, even in a rear curtain sync, because that's when it's doing the math. So basically, there's a communication it's a back and forth communication. It's not a singular thing. In an old school radio, you're just like, I fired the camera, and the flash fires. In this, it's a back and forth. They're talking, they're working together, right, to make it work. It's high tech, but again, sometimes it doesn't give you exactly what you want, so you switch to manual. It's easy as that. With the Pro Photo lights in particular, I don't know if anything else does this. I don't think so. You can do a TTL exposure, then switch to manual immediately, and everything locks in. In most systems, when you switch to manual, you have to then start figuring it out from there. So because of that, I always start with TTL because why wouldn't I? I just press it. If it's too dark or whatever, I can always just switch to manual and move on. If you're using like speed lights where you'd have to like reset everything when you switch to manual, you might just want to start there if you think it's not going to work for whatever reason. But I find TTL to be pretty reliable. As long as you understand how it works. It works the same way your camera works. Like heavily backlit scene, TTL's going to see that. It sees there's windows back there, right? It doesn't know that your subject is Marissa. So if I shoot a big wide sunset with a person standing in front of it with the meter in my camera, it makes the sunset lit up properly and my person dark, right? Flash is going to do the same thing. It doesn't know. You have to tell it, basically. Other questions? No, cool. All right, so I think we'll take a break. We'll come back and shoot with more single lights, I guess, at 2 o'clock. Next week we're doing shooting to a layout.
Yeah, advertising photography.
Oh yeah, that should be fun. That's always a fun one, I think, especially if you want to move, well, come anyways, but if you want to move forward and do more commercial type work. We actually come in with a couple of layouts and I show you kind of the breakdown, not the breakdown with Miguel Quiles, but the breakdown on how like you would do that. Like, hey, this is, a lot of times we're photographers and we just shoot what we want and we just love shooting and whatever and blah, blah. But when you get hired to do a job, like how do you kind of make that client's vision work for you? So that's what we're going to talk about next week. But later on today, we're going to talk about more shooting with, I think we probably didn't use the umbrella yet, so we'll probably use the umbrella. And we'll have some fun. So thanks, guys. Hey.